Hello, everybody. We are here to talk about the latest episode of Bachelor in Paradise. It is still split week. Now it's bi weekly split week. There's two split weeks. Welcome back to our channel. We're live today. I'm your host, Zachary Reality, with the one, the only Kayla Thompson. And we're so excited to talk about last night's episode today for you guys. So, Kayla, what did you think of the episode?
Well, I cannot lie. I've been loving Split Week. I didn't get to talk about it with you guys last week, so I'm like
Mm-hmm.
buzzing to talk about it now. I think it's genius. But yeah, it's been an interesting episode. I don't know. We've said it over and over every week, but it's like I feel like sometimes they drag out stuff though at the same time. So I just feel like, this episode again, Monday's episode seems like it's a little dry compared to Tuesday's, but I think it was still pretty good.
I'm excited for tonight because they're going to come back to the beach. So that should be
Right.
interesting. But I feel like we are all in consensus of how this show has gone so downhill every week. But we're still going to talk about it because fans are still engaged.
Absolutely.
We're still watching. We still have opinions. And we're going to talk
Yes.
about what happened on the episode. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We have a live chat right now. Feel free to let us know your thoughts and opinions. We'll put them on the screen. And let's get into it because we're starting things off with Lace or Loose. She decided to leave the beach after talking to Rodney. Now, he just got back from his date with Eliza, which went fabulous, and Lace wanted answers immediately. She really just wanted to be on the same page as Rodney, and Rodney did not expect her to show up and leave the other beach and be there as soon as he got back from his date with Eliza. So Lace decided to self eliminate because she said if it's not Rodney, it's no one, and Rodney just had a stronger connection with Eliza. What do you think about this mess, Kayla? It seems like Rodney was set up to fail. Lace was set up to fail. Poor Eliza just got here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they definitely set up Rodney for a little trap here. I think, the producers wanted to kind of, get him in this little triangle with making Eliza come in after he'd already like got a rose from Lace and that whole thing. So, but I think, it's inevitable. It's the show, we're dating different people, new people come down, you make maybe stronger connections. And I think we saw it the minute Eliza walked in last week. I was like, yeah, it's a wrap for Lace. So, I think Rodney handled it
True.
incredibly well, in my opinion. I think he was really, catering to her feelings and not wanting to hurt her. I think it was obvious he didn't expect it, like what you said, didn't expect to have that conversation
Yeah.
that night right after he got back from the date. But
Justice for
uh,
Rodney.
but yeah, I know. They really just threw him in the lion's den.
He did not
So
deserve that. Like, literally, like, the whole point of Split Week was to split everybody so that they can date without their original
right,
person being
it's
there and not
so
feel guilty
true.
about it.
It's so
So
true.
it's like the
It's
producers
true.
wanted this to happen. And then they set up Rodney.
Yeah,
I mean, you're right. He handled it the best way he could. And obviously, he had stronger feelings for Eliza, but he didn't even get to sleep on it. Like,
yeah,
usually you have a few days and then there's a rose ceremony. Like, he couldn't even, he had to think so fast in that situation. And it was just
yeah,
like, he handled it the best way he could. Lace obviously was hysterical, which we'll
yeah.
expect. But the tea is the reason I think they actually let her back is because she was able to tell the guys about the new guys because they didn't know about the new guys.
Right.
So I think that's why
Right.
they let her come back to watch them squirm. Don't you think? And will you
That's
miss
true.
Lace?
No, yeah, that's really true. Because you made a good point. Like 10 seconds ago when you were saying it's not fair, like the whole
Mm-hmm.
point is for them to be split up. Why is Lace getting to come back? But I think the fact that the guys didn't know, so she was kind of carrying that message, is why they probably let that happen. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but but yeah, I think Lace kind of having a breakdown about it. The whole time I'm like, Zach, honestly, the whole time I'm like, Lace, you've known Rodney for maybe 3 days. It's really gonna be like, it's really gonna be fine. To me, it's like it's less about Rodney and it's more about you losing something and not reflecting on how you feel about yourself. Which I don't know. It's tough to watch that for like a woman, woman going through that. But I'm just like, Lace,
Mm-hmm.
you got to have the faith that I'm going to be good either way. And this was inevitable. If Rodney has stronger feelings for someone else, then we weren't ever going to be together. So yeah,
It's just sad because Lace like came back 5 years later, and it seems like she's like I just feel like she's grown a bit, but it still feels like she's making the same mistakes,
yeah,
that she made the last time.
yeah.
I think we saw a little bit of growth, but I guess I would have appreciated more. I don't know. I mean, you know what,
I think
Lace?
it's yeah,
We'll see ya.
yeah. Well, I know. I think for Lace, it's more about like really just feeling secure in herself. I thought she would come back and be more like kind of a confident and assured of herself,
Hmm.
regardless of who or what happens. And so I think it's that. That's the lack of like that growth there, which I would hope for her at at her age as well. So it's tough to
Yeah, well, we'll
watch.
see if she comes to the reunion that, I'm just getting everyone excited about because we love a good I just love a reunion. Like it's so fun. We'll get the actual updates. So
Right.
that's films in a few weeks. It'll air next month. We'll see if Lace shows up cuz not necessarily all these people are going to come. Um
That's true.
but I think that a lot of them are planning on it. So at the other beach right now, there is the OG girls and they
Hmm.
basically have to decide who they want to keep because there's Tyler, there's Adam, there is Olu, Rick, and then there is Alex. So Jesse Palmer basically talked to the five remaining girls, Shanae, Genevieve, Serene, Jill, and Brittany. They're
Hmm.
like, which, see how good I am? I got all these names. I didn't
You
even
got
have it in my script.
everyone right. I was like, okay,
Um,
all right.
so Jesse is just like, I know, I'm like taking my time. So Jesse
Hmm.
basically says, like, who are you forming a connection with? Which I think
Hmm.
this is already messed up because they should have just done a roast, maybe like, maybe not, but like, they could have done a roast ceremony on this side of the beach. Instead, they're just like, oh, we're not
Yeah,
into, Rick and Olu, and then they leave. What did you think about all that?
it's weird. Yeah, I think I actually saw your TikTok post or something about like how you were
Yeah,
like, are they just, or maybe it was your tweet, like they're just making this stuff up as they go on the spot. And
they
I'm really like, you know
are.
what? They really are like, well, I was thinking that too. Like, are they gonna have a structure to this other side of the beach? Like, in terms of who's gonna stay, who's gonna go, even with the girls, the new girls on the guys' side of the beach.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was kind of ominous the way that they just booted Rick and Olu. Like, I feel like I'm missing something. Like, I don't know. It seems like no one's interested in anybody except for maybe we'll talk about Victoria, but and not even
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Brittany. But it's just like it's not just those two guys. It seems like Adam's kind of floating too, and so I don't know. It was odd. It
Well, I
was
guess
really
they
weird.
agreed to keep Adam there. But the problem is they should have just sent them to the other beach. And I said this last week. I was like, what they should have done is
Yeah.
given everyone the option to switch beaches. And then you don't know who's switching who. So maybe in Brandon and
Mm,
Serene will accidentally switch beaches and miss each other. Like, that's what they should have done. It's really unfair
yeah.
that Rick and Olu just went home instead of going to the other beach and possibly meeting the new women who just got
Right.
there and are not even able to infiltrate the men who already are in relationships. So it's kind of unfair.
It's so true.
Rick seemed to be a little salty about it on social media. He said he would never go back.
Mm,
And then we haven't heard much from
mm,
Olu, but Brandon basically posted on his Instagram, Brandon Jones. He said
mm,
that if they choose to not show these disgusting man's actions on the next
mm.
episode, somebody better keep me off a podcast. And he was talking about Olu. However, we never saw any disgusting actions. Now, Brandon did delete this Instagram story, so we don't know what he's talking about. I think we could assume maybe he was trying to hit on Serene. Um, but what do you
Mm.
think Brandon meant by that? Why do you think he deleted it? Why is no one elaborating? Is it that serious? Is
I
it really
know.
serious? What do you think?
Right. Yeah, it's interesting because I didn't really. I felt like it was interesting that when Jesse did ask the girls, like, oh, so no one's interested in Olu. They were kind of like, absolutely not. It was almost like, did you
Mm-hmm.
catch that? They were like, absolutely no.
Yeah.
Almost like,
Well, I guess
yeah, and that's
like
what I mean
it's
of we were missing
possible.
something. Mhm.
Well, I mean, I guess the only thing I could think of is maybe he was coming on too strong to some of the girls. Like
Mhm.
maybe he was just a
Mhm.
little weird or creepy to them.
Yeah.
We don't really know
Yeah, I
what
think
happened.
right. I know it's exactly. I think my first thought was, also earlier that week when he was asking Victoria like, "Come on, just get in the pool." It seemed like I think all the guys were a little frustrated that the girls were so turned off, but I
Mm-hmm.
think he seemed the most frustrated, so maybe he kind of said some things out of frustration, said some things that weren't nice, that weren't sitting well with the women. And I think, yeah, Serene is probably the main one who relayed that to Brandon. And so
Mm-hmm.
especially if it was something towards Serene, Brandon's really going to get upset. So could be something that he said ill towards Serene that just was like, what, offended her.
Yeah.
But it's just, that's odd for Olu. I thought so highly of Olu coming off Michelle's
Me
season.
too.
He seems like such a great person. So it's weird. I don't know. I can't imagine exactly what
Yeah, I loved
happens,
him
but
too. He was so
yeah.
fashionable. His whole thing was like black excellence. Like he
Mhm.
came off great. But I
Yeah.
really think that, something must have happened that rubbed him the wrong way for Brandon to even put that strong statement on his story. And then
Right.
I think he ended up deleting it because he probably didn't want Olu to get attacked in the media because, this
Mm.
is what happens when you
Mhm.
post things. When you're in Bachelor Nation, people talk about it. So I think that they just thought it would be better to handle it privately. But he posted it, he deleted
Yeah.
it. There was some stuff shown on the show. I don't foresee Olu getting invited to the reunion if something really disgusting happened, in
Mhm.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, and, I can't be mad at him if I don't know what happened. So I'm kind of still,
Yeah.
I feel bad that, him and Rick didn't get a fair shot. Period. Right?
Yeah. Period. I agree.
Okay, Victoria F. She forms a connection with Alex. So this was interesting because obviously she's hitting things off with Johnny, um,
Mhm.
and they're vibing, but they're on separate beaches now. And Victoria, she was falling asleep, and Alex ended up giving her like a nice head massage. And Victoria said that is
Mhm.
just something that really did it for her. She is all about physical touch. That's her love language. So she agreed to go on a date with Alex, even though she felt guilty about it because of her thing with Johnny, but she wanted to remain
Mhm.
open. She says that Alex is perfect on paper, but Johnny's her everything. She loved doing life with Johnny and eating breakfast with Johnny,
Mhm.
but she also has concerns
Mhm.
with Johnny. So basically where her and Alex ended is they agreed to move forward pursuing a relationship while also being aware that Victoria will also be pursuing a relationship with Johnny moving forward as well. So now she's got two guys. So where are we at?
Yeah.
Do we think she should go with Johnny or do
Yeah.
you think Alex might be a better fit?
Yeah, it's interesting as a viewer of the show. It's like I mean, the editors didn't really do a great job, even with the buildup of this split of Johnny and Victoria and her interest in Alex, because we didn't really get much of her and Johnny at all. Honestly, we saw them talk that one
Mhm.
night. He decided to give her his rose, and we've kind of not seen anything from them, but just known that they're a thing. So it would have been nice to kind of get that buildup, so we really feel something when when they're split up, when she's interested in Alex. But I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. Alex sounds great. I agree. I think even with what Victoria was saying, excuse me, seemingly like Alex is more better fit moving forward outside of in the real world in terms of him being wanting a family right away. Johnny's a lot younger, a good bit younger than her.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think that honestly, in the grand scheme of things, I think Victoria should probably pursue Alex more seriously. Because yes, her and Johnny have been a thing and they've been together every day, but it's what maybe 10 days. I don't know. I think it's
Well, I
fair for her to
disagree. I
actually
think
connect with
Johnny is
Alex.
better. I think Johnny's better for
Okay,
her because
why?
she said that she like appreciated those moments with Johnny, like getting breakfast and those conversations. And like we saw them talk about the adventure park, like roller coaster that he was going to take her on. Like I do agree with like what you're saying. There is concerns with Johnny. He's young, but I just think she feels more comfortable with Johnny where Alex is just more perfect
Mhm.
on paper. Also, you might not know this and people might not know this, but Alex like I don't know, he's been on every Bachelor show. He was on Paradise years ago. He was on Bachelor in Paradise Canada. He was on Bachelor in Paradise Australia. Like he is hopping from show to show to show to
I
show,
didn't
like
know
for a
that.
while. Yeah, and people are forgetting that.
Interesting. Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but I do think that like that's just time spent with Johnny. Like we get breakfast
Yeah.
together, we do things together, we lay around all day. It's like, yeah, that's cool. But in terms of is Johnny like Johnny just left Gabby's season and he was not in a place in his life to get married and have kids. And so I'm just kind of like I think it's fair for Victoria to see Alex and I don't know. It's
Yeah, no, I
but
think
I
it's
I
fair
see what you
too,
mean though.
and I think that next week they're just gonna go back to the beach, or I mean tonight, because and then I guess they'll just bring the
Right.
guys with them, so it'll complicate things. Victoria will have a rose, and we'll see who she chooses. But it does, I do
Mhm.
agree, where it seems like some of the guys from Gabby and Rachel's season, like they didn't have time to recuperate, so no wonder they're in the
Mm.
same boat. So it's interesting seeing Johnny, but it's also interesting seeing Logan because he is back up to
Mhm.
his old tricks. Okay, so
My
back at the other
goodness.
beach, we know Johnny is staying loyal, Brandon and Aaron are staying loyal, but Logan is doing what he's known for, which is bouncing around. Now, he was originally with Shanae before the swap, then he moved to Sarah, and now he's moved on to Kate, who originally had something with Jacob, who had a connection with Jill, but Logan and Kate agreed to say F it and just pursue each other, so they decided to go on a date. And now there's a geometry beach, as Johnny said. So, what are your thoughts on Logan? Who do you want him to
Mhm.
be with out of all these options? And Kate.
You're right. I don't know that Logan knows what he wants. I think Logan's probably still in a place in his life where he's figuring that out, and I think that's totally fair. It's just interesting that he's
Mm-hmm.
doing it on this show. You know, it's an interesting opportunity for him to kind of flesh out these different connections, and I don't think Logan's doing anything wrong. Is he doing it in the best way? No, I don't think I liked the way that he kind of just did it backwards with Sarah, with like he accepted the date with Kate and then he told Sarah no. I mean, not no, but kind of like told her like, hey, this is what's going on. And it's just,
Yeah.
it was kind of like really messy. And even in the conversation with Sarah, it felt a little like, I don't know, it lacked some emotion for me. I felt like Logan was just kind of like, yeah, so I'm just like,
Well,
Logan,
he just met
let's
Sarah
go.
too, like
You know,
yesterday. So
it's a
like,
lot.
I get it. He's
Yeah.
kind of just like dating around, which I think is fine because it's kind of like the point of the show. And like you said, like Logan's
Right.
26. Like he clearly does not want to get married or engaged. So I feel like he's just on the show for a
I
good
don't think
time.
he's
Let him have fun
necessarily
and
ready.
explore other connections. But I just think all the
Yeah.
girls should know that he's just not taking this seriously. So just don't get your feelings invested because clearly he's just having
Yeah.
fun, which is, just part of the show as well. Like it's not all about engagement, it's also
Mhm.
just like going on the show and dating and exploring and finding yourself.
For sure, absolutely, and I think that's what's interesting about watching Logan. And I think Logan does seem to jump in and be like, well, actually, I feel this way now, and it's like I feel so strongly, and now I'm like, no, this is what I want now, and it's like,
He doesn't feel
okay,
anything.
Logan, okay, I don't know, it's interesting. He's fun to watch, though. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I
Oh, we
love
got
Logan. Like I
a
think he's a
message.
great guy, but I just don't
Yes.
think that like he's just like finding love on the show. And that's fine.
No,
He
I don't
but
think
let
so.
him have fun.
Yeah.
Also Kate I feel like is a little messy too. I think that she's just kind of there to date around
Mm-hmm.
and have fun. I don't see her looking for a serious relationship either. She is getting some interesting
Yeah.
background music, so we know there's going to be some drama with her and
Mm.
Sarah, and maybe her and Shanae when they get back from the beach. But other
Oh
than that,
yeah.
what's going on this beach is Sarah is trying to talk to Jacob now. They're going to do a switcheroo. Michael and Danielle are still vibing. Jasenia might be
Mm-hmm.
vibing with Andrew. We don't really know where that's at. Eliza's definitely with
Mm-hmm.
Rodney. And then the Australian contestant, Florence, she's just chilling. But do you think that we should set her up with Adam? Like, do they know each other from
Yes.
Australia?
They probably do. I can imagine they absolutely known each other from, the Bachelor Nation US is niche, but it's still really big. So I can imagine in Australia it's very niche and like fairly probably
Mm-hmm.
close knit. So I'm sure that they actually know each other. So that'd be interesting to put them together on the beach. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, any other thoughts on these people, or are we just ready for tonight to see the girls come back?
Honestly, I'm ready for tonight. I don't even think when it comes to like Andrew, Jasenia, Brittany, Tyler, I feel like, they'll just be like, okay, cool. God bless. Good luck. You guys
We're
continue
all
dating
switching.
the new
Well,
people. I
I
don't
did want to
know.
bring that up.
Yeah.
I did want to bring up the
Oh,
rest of
yes.
the
Let's
drama
talk about
happening
it.
on the other hotel because Shanae, she hit things off with Tyler. They went on a date, but now Tyler's getting to know Brittany, who had a thing with Andrew S., who's on the other beach now talking to Jasenia, but he's now getting to know Brittany, and Tyler and Brittany started kissing. And Shanae was worried that she didn't know where Tyler was, but she didn't want to find out and interrupt them. What would you do? Would you be Genevieve and be that friend, or would you just interrupt, or would you take a peek or throw the eggs?
I would take a peek. You know what? You know what? I kind of like the way Genevieve like went about it. Like she kind of was clocking Shanae. Like first of all, relax because you don't even know what's going on. So calm down. Second, okay, let me go see, and I'll do it for you. And then she decided not to tell Shanae, which I thought was like fair because it's like my thing is like
Well, she
Shanae.
might tell her.
We'll see. But my thing with Shanae is
We'll
just
see.
like, Shanae, do you really even care? Like, I think for Shanae, it's like she's mad that like Tyler isn't obsessed with her or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, Shanae, you can't have everybody be in love with you, sis. What if he just doesn't like you like that? That's totally okay. That happens sometimes. Someone might be more
Well, that's
interested
what
in someone
Serene
else than
said.
you. So it's just
Serene was
right.
like,
Exactly. Exactly.
what'd she say? She said Shanae's used to getting all the attention because Shanae's been going on dates. She had Logan, she had
Yeah.
James. She started things off with
Mm.
Jacob. So it kind of seems like this
Right.
is her first time like
Right.
not being the center of attention. I liked how
Mm.
Genevieve was like a good friend. It's kind of interesting to see the two of them like really vibing. Um,
Right.
and I think that she had like a meltdown in the closet with a producer threatening to leave. So I'm sure we'll see more of that tonight.
Yeah, it's
Dabu8701
true.
says, "Is it me or did I see Olu and Shanae kiss in one of the earlier trailers?" I don't think
Very
so.
good point. Well, yeah, we did. I actually was gonna bring that up, but
No
yeah, but
way.
Olu went home. So yeah, I remember. You know me, Eagle Eye, with the trailers. I
When did
definitely
that
saw. I don't know if
happen?
they saw them kiss, but I saw at least her like feed Olu something in the trailer. I'll find
Well,
it and
that's
maybe I'll text
different.
you. But
Feeding is
yeah, but that
friendly.
was clearly some. But that was clearly footage of them probably exploring something without us. Footage that we didn't get to see on the final cut of the episodes. So
Well, I'm
it's
sure
kind of
that they had a
odd that they took that
conversation
out.
with Olu. Like, there's no way her and Rick were just completely ignored for the few days they were there. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sure they had like
right. That's
some
true.
sort of conversation. But I'm like here for Tyler and Brittany because I felt like they actually liked each other and they agreed. They were
Same.
like, well, looks like we have conversations to have. So I think she's gonna break
Yeah.
up with Andrew and I think
Oh
he's gonna
yeah.
break up with Shanae, and then she's gonna go back for Logan, right? But now Logan has Sarah and Kate, so it's gonna be a whole mess when they return to the beach.
Geometry Beach. Geometry Beach. Yeah, I agree. Tyler and Brittany have way more chemistry. Even with her and Andrew, I wasn't really seeing that like click. So
Yeah.
honestly, I think Andrew will be okay with it. In my opinion, ever since Teddy left, I don't really feel like he's been really even into Brittany the same. I think it kind of took the wind out of his sails when Teddy left, but he's
But
just
he
tried
also
to
has
tried
Jasenia.
to stick around. I think it's the same with Jasenia. I think he's kind of like, okay, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I think yeah,
Well,
so
there's
I
so
think
many
he'll be okay with
episodes.
it, but yeah.
There's so many
Mhm.
episodes left, so I wouldn't be surprised if it took forever to get another rose ceremony. And then obviously, like some people
Oh
are
my
still just
gosh.
hanging around to get,
Yeah.
just because the
Mhm.
episodes are so dragged out. So it seems like people are hanging around longer than maybe they actually are or would want to. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, I also think with predictions, since we're about to watch this in a few hours, I kind of think that Jill and Jacob are both going to leave. I think it's their time. I think that they're going to break up. I don't know if
Hmm.
Jacob will hang around, but I just feel like Jill has like I feel like once she gets back, if Jacob isn't fully committed, I feel like she's had enough of this. Like she's been crying every single day. It's been so much drama for her, especially in the beginning with the Romeo and Kira. Like I think she might head out like Lace.
I think that's a good prediction. I think, I agree. Jill's been through it. I mean, when they got split up at the beginning of the week, she was like, Victoria was almost
She's
worried for her.
devastated.
So
Yeah.
she was really, really, I mean, she's been depressed all week, not really seeing
It's
Jacob
been
and
rough for her.
worried and wondering. But I'm interested to see how Jacob will kind of go about the conversation because he's gotten broken up with Kate, basically. So I don't know how his
Ooh.
posture is gonna be when it comes to like, hey, I kind of okay, this kind of happened, but I mean, I don't know. It
But
wasn't really. I don't know if
Sarah,
he'll like minimize it and downplay it.
yeah,
Um.
well, he might, but the
Oh.
beach talks. Everybody talks on the beach. Also,
Oh.
Sarah said that she was going to
Very
make a
true.
move on Jacob while Kate and
Very true.
Logan were on the beach, were on their date.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
drama.
Actually, I have a question for you. So I'm confused at how this is potentially going to go when it comes to the roses because there's now like 10 extra people, right? Well, let's say 8 extra people because Olu and Rick are
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
But like, how is it going to happen? Like, what the heck? How are they going to do this rose ceremony? Are the girls going to have the roses or the guys? Because there's new guys and girls. So like, I don't know. What do you think? How do you think they're going to like do this?
I think, well, first of all, I don't know, but I kind of think that they're going to
Okay.
bring the girls back to the beach first and leave the guys on the other side for like a minute.
Oh.
And then I think
Why?
that they might like, and then I think the guys might come down at like the rose ceremony night, and then there's more guys. So I think that the guys have the roses this week, and then a couple girls will go home. And I think that
No, there
the
should be
girls who
more
are gonna go
girls than
home,
guys.
yeah. So the guys will have the roses this week, and then a couple girls will go home.
Oh, so you're saying the guys will have the got you. Okay, I see what you mean.
And I think they'll come in later.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think they're gonna
Why
come
not
in
just have them
later
all come down at the same time? What does it matter?
because
you know?
because then they can't. No, I agree, but I think that the producers want to like
Mm.
control everything and they don't want too much chaos happening at once. And I think we kind of saw that in the trailer where like the girls were coming down first. So I think the guys will come later.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Florence is on the chopping block unless Adam saves her. And I think,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Jill might break up. I think Jill's going to go home, but I don't know. And
Yeah.
I don't know what else will happen.
Mm.
You want to read this from Trisha?
Sure. Trisha says, "Did they save the Australian guy for the Australian girl on the beach? They are nice, but who's going to date someone from another country?" That's a good point. I actually didn't think about that. The fact that, yo, you're in a whole other country like than me. That's a huge long distance relationship for sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
they
they, and
probably
that's why I
just
think
need
they should try it.
they
Mm.
could, but they also might know each other and might be friends. For all we know, they were exes because they haven't told us anything about them. I just think they're
I
filler. I don't really
know.
think that. I think the show just needed
Yeah.
extra contestants, so they thought they'd bring a couple people in because they're not highlighting either of their stories so far.
I know. It's kind of frustrating a little bit actually. I'm like, y'all have so much time every week. You're like, you could give us more Florence and Adam. I'm actually interested in them. I think Adam is like incredibly attractive and he seems like he's actually kind of being like buddy buddy with some of the girls. Like they hang out with like
Hmm.
Serene and so it's like give us more of them. They seem cool. What the heck?
Yeah, maybe we'll see more of them tonight. We're gonna get new arrivals probably next week. I mean, that
Mm.
was pretty much the episode. I think tonight's gonna be interesting, just seeing everyone get back from the other beach and the split. So we want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear what you guys think is going to happen. If you're liking the season, who are your favorites? Which are your favorite couples? Let us know in the comments. Even if you missed the live, you can still let us know your thoughts. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Ring the bell so you're always up to date with all things here at Shared News. I'm your host, Zachary Reality, with
Kayla Thompson. And thank you guys so much again for watching. We'll see you guys in our next video. Bye.
Bye, guys. See ya.